welcome to Functional Flow Pilates here at your home as we get through our lower body revive. Join me here on the floor. As you can see, you could do your classes anywhere. You can have your phone with you, bring yourself out into nature. It is quite lovely. It's a little change of scenery for me and hopefully also for you. Let's get into our 90-90. This is one of our most beloved mobility moves here as we prepare our hips, as we get into deeper joint restoration before we hit a little bit more Pilates. So 90-90 is 90 degrees at your knees and your hips all around, okay? And then let's use our breathing to get deeper into our diaphragm. As you inhale, exhale, try to drive your hip bones down towards the floor. If it's just too much for you and you find yourself cramping immediately, go ahead and grab a hold of a pillow nearby, a cushion on the couch. Just prop that under your butt cheeks and then continue on. Here we are. So we just couple rocking forward and back and forward and back. Stretching into our hip joints on each side for 2 and 1. Awesome. All right, so go ahead and rock it forward and hold it here, and then bring your hands out in front. So it's going to be our first passive stretch into external rotation of our front leg. Reaching your hands past your lower leg and driving your chest down, but making sure that we're not collapsing into our neck and our chest, right? We are just driving everything forward, getting deeper into that front butt bone. You should feel a side butt stretch here. Continue to breathe deeper. Maybe you can go down onto your elbows without, again, collapsing. For 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then come all the way up. We're going to work that external rotation in that front hip with our T-arms. So nice and easy, drive your knee and foot down, inhale and exhale. Okay, so this is a place where I usually see people start to collapse and cheat themselves. So think about pulling chest forward to get deeper into that front hip, driving that bottom down, and then continuously adding that external pressure of your front knee into the floor to really kick on those glutes. Take your time for 2. And then last, can we try a hold? Stay here and breathe for 3, 2, 1, and then work yourself up, up, up. All right, so we're going to tilt into our tailbone, this posterior tilt, get ourselves deeper into our back hip now. We're going to put a little bit more weight into that back hip, a little bit side bend towards that back knee, maybe a little reach towards that back knee, and then reach away. So now you're just in this pure side bend plane, getting deeper, driving this back hip down towards the floor, getting that sits bones down towards the ground. I promise you it is challenging. If you find that that back butt bone is not getting to the floor, no, that is okay. I was there too, and I still get a challenge with it, but everyone's journey starts at a different place, different time. If you keep this going regularly, a couple times a week, I promise you your hips will get deeper in range. 2. Oh yeah, stretching deeper into that back hip. Woo. And then last, stretch and stay and breathe for 3, 2, and 1. All right, so we're going to start warming up that back hip. So hands right here in front of you, tall chest here. We're going to just lift that knee and bring it down. Lift to feel that squeeze of that back butt, and then down. And inhale and exhale. Really tapping in on what you're trying to connect with. All the while that front knee is doing its best to stay grounded. 2, ooh, and 1. Hold there and breathe. 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue to open up and transition through your butt bones with a little hand support and go behind or in front of you. And then we just go over to 90-90 into our opposite side. Take your time here, getting deeper into our hips. Couple rocks back and forth. Sometimes as we get into our second side, there's some cramping involved with the transition. So this is where your breathing will help you just reground and reconnect. And 2. And then last. So walk those 2 hands forward into your first passive stretch here on your opposite leg. Without collapsing into your chest and neck, you can drop down on your elbows if your body will allow you here. 3, 2, and 1. And then up. So your goal is that we're going to activate constantly into that side hip of our front leg. Here we are, T-arms, so proud chest. Remember, reach that chest forward. Don't let it collapse. Keep reaching so we are really deepening and hinging into that front hip. Drive that front knee down to the ground to keep that side butt on, those glutes, those hip rotating muscles. Right, we're working on increasing range of motion by doing the active work. We have to do both passive and active. Without the active, it will not stick. We're just stretching without actually creating gains and changes, which I think for all of us, we want that change. We want more than just the cycles and returning back to the same level of tension. So into your next time that you go down, I'm going to have you go down and stay, hang out there, really deepen it into that hip and hold with your muscles for 4, 3, 2, 1, and up we go. And then now we're going to deepen into this back hip. Maybe shift a little bit more weight into it if that's comfortable for both your hip and your knee. Right, if you're getting any discomfort in your knee, you can just close in on your ankle just a bit to slack it. But if you don't need to, then just let your breath settle down your nervous system. Then we're going to work on side bending to go deeper into that hip and then away. So even on the way, keep driving your hips to the ground so you don't lift your butt bones away from the floor. Inhale, exhale, and breathe it through. So this class is for you if you know that you've been building up tension and want to start off this new year with more freedom in your hips. Really feel good. Feeling good in our body motivates us to do more with our body. So Revive is a great class to get you going, build up your consistency. With every reach, we reach deeper through our hips. Oh yes, and last. Into our hip, we stay and breathe. 3, 2, 1. Woo, get tall through your spine, stack your shoulders over your hips, and then now we're going to play with that back leg, getting some lift off, ooh, and down. And then while that front knee is also working on staying grounded. So both those hips are working. You're going to fight with your core. A lot of core work when it comes to mobility because we're trying to isolate as much as we can, and that just means your spine is rock solid. Can we tap in with that side butt, those glutes? Woo. 2 and 1. All right, here's our transition. So maybe hands can go forward this time as we get a little bit more flexible, more mobile. Maybe we can go out to T-arms, right? Or maybe your hands stay behind. Whatever you need as we go back and forth in this transition. Starting to grease up those joints. Pull those knees away through center for 2. And 1. Woo. Awesome. So we're going to bring it in over to our first side as we work deeper into our internal rotation here. So just like how we were earlier, we were in that passive stretch. This is just going to give us some slack. And then think about lengthening out your spine, keeping your waist open on both sides. We're going to do knee down, foot up on this back leg. So getting into our active internal rotation here. Baby liftoffs, right? If you hold it, can you see if there's any activation into your back pocket? Sometimes people will start to cramp more in the front. Just know that's part of a compensation that we're trying to unlearn and undo. So spend more time on your lift-off hold. So that isolated hold is trying to recruit more and hopefully more into this back butt. And continue on at your pace and see what allows you to connect with your side pocket best. For me and for many, it's a longer hold, even though it starts to burn. Good, right? That's what we want. 3, 2, and 1. Hold, hold, hold. We're going to do an extended hold here. And breathe. 4, 3, two, one. Hopefully that hip got tired so we can go deeper into this back hip, into internal rotation. Shift your weight a little bit more into that hip joint, driving that bottom bone down. Woo. And then we're going to go deeper with our hands behind us if it's allowed with our body, that we're not just extending into our back, right? Bring those ribs in, stomach in. We're just deepening into that ball and socket joint of our internally rotated hip here in the back. Try to find relaxation here. 3, 2, and 1. Work yourself up. And then another transition. Here we go. Hands in front, hands behind or out to T. Oh, yeah, baby. All right, so new side again. And then we're going to drive our body forward. You can go onto your elbows to give you more room for that lift off. So do your best to keep your spine steady, waist open on both sides, and then get that internal rotation. Right, so what can happen is that we'll start to move into our spine. So do your best to hold spine steady. Give yourself maybe that isolated hold to recruit more of the backside and less from the front. Get deeper into that back pocket. We want that side baby butt. More recruitment. Give it time, guys. Give it time. Don't get frustrated if you don't feel it right away. Use your breathing to train your brain on where to connect it. 3, and 2, and last. Hold, hold, hold. Nice and long. 4, 3, 2, 1. Up we go. Woo. So now we're going to get deeper into our hips. Try to drive that butt bone down towards the ground as we lengthen our spine. Maybe shift a little bit more weight into that butt bone, if possible, if available, hands behind, and then just going deeper into that internal rotation. Right? That means you're going to have to work harder here in your stomach to keep your spine in one piece. And find your relaxation here. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. And transition, hands in front, hands behind, or hands out to T. Woo! Awesome. Here we go. We're going to swing it in. We're going to bring ourselves down towards the ground, rolling through our spine, and then hands are all the way down to the ground. Legs are long here. Reach it out, point that leg, squeeze across that knee. So if you need to lower it to keep your knee straight, then just put it in a lower position. You're going to cross in, getting an inner thigh, control it down, out, and up into our leg circle here. So again, you want to fight to keep that knee super straight and use your stomach to pull it up. Drive it in, control it out with your side butt. Can you get that side butt to squeeze to control on that out? And check on your pelvis that both sides are completely still and steady. And then you can make your circle, maybe a dinner plate, maybe a beach ball, right? Based on what you can control. For 2, and 1, and then up to the top, hold, big inhale, reach out to the side as we change directions, cross in and pull up. Inhale and exhale. If you feel some clicking, give your 360 hip squeeze for more support across that ball and socket joint, or reduce your range of your circle. You're really trying to minimize the clicks. And breathe. For 2, and 1. Up, down. Okay, this leg that's to the ground isn't sleeping, it's pushing into the floor while the other one lifts. Again, if you lift it too high and starts to bend, I want you to bring it down lower and point. Keep it straight. In, out, and up. In, cross, down, out, up with control. And with your breathing, inhale, exhale up, inhale down, exhale up. Get that side hip to control that out position. 2, and 1. And then stop at the top, reverse. Control, pull in through that center, up with your stomach. Inhale, exhale, squeeze, squeeze it straight, squeeze it straight. Do your best to hold it all together. 2, and 1. Up and down. Woo. Awesome. All right, let's bend in those knees. Everything's parallel with our hips, knees, and feet. Hands are down to the ground. Without moving your feet, you're going to pull your heels slightly towards your butt to already engage those hamstrings and then curl through. Keep a squeeze on those hamstrings and curl down. So back of thighs, those are the hamstrings. If you have a hard time connecting with those, I highly suggest doing the foam roller class. It is a way to really tap into those hamstrings as we put our feet on top of the foam roller. Super fun. Highly suggest take that class. Full body soft tissue mobilization class. All of these are just helpful in conjunction with each other, I promise, to give your body the best movement that your body can do. Two more. Pull those heels in. And last. So you're going to go all the way up at the top. Hold it here. If this is good for you, stay. If you want a little bit more of a challenge of your pelvis and your core control, we're going to work on our kick out and then lower. But don't let your butt drop when you kick out. Okay? You want to keep this completely still and steady. Kick at the knee, bend. Kick, bend. Keep hips up. Kick, bend. That means those hamstrings are really working to keep your hips high. Squeezing at your glutes. This lift is not from your low back, it's from your hips. Squeezing your butt cheeks up as we breathe. For 3 and 2 and 1. Stay here. Think about reaching your knees further away from your body to give yourself that front thigh stretch. Pull those ribs down. Find your breath here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll slow, one bone at a time, all the way back down to the ground. Hug your knees in. Let's stretch those hamstrings out as we straighten out at the knee. Bend. Straighten, bend. Straighten, bend. Final straight hold at the feet. We're going to point the toes, pull the toes, get some active mobility of our hamstrings and our sciatic nerve. All right, so here we go. We're going to go down. Narrow is so hard, especially for me and I think for most, because our thighs want to separate. So we're going to keep everything connected. So it's both inner thigh, butt, side, butt as well. You need to include the side butt to try to pull those inner thighs more forward by rotating through your thigh bones and then come on down. So again, they squeeze together, but then you have to pivot, pull those inner thighs more forward to go higher, to get to that end range position for you, and then roll through your spine back down. And repeat up, and then continue to squeeze through your glutes to get that end range, and down. Ooh. 3. Hello, hips. 2. Stretch. And then last, we're going to go up and stay. Yes, we are. We're going to bring those ribs in. Squeeze from our glutes a little bit more for that 1-inch lift and lower. Squeeze and squeeze. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1, and roll down. Hello, legs. Hug it in. Hands behind thighs. Active stretch at the knees as we bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Final time, straighten. And then at the ankles, pull and point the toes. Pull and point the toes. And hold those toes to a point. 2 hands behind one into our active hamstring stretch. Pull up with your stomach. Maybe grab at your calf. Maybe grab at your ankle. Kind of see what you can manage today. And breathe. Think about stretching out that low back. Pull it in. Option on your chest lift. As long as that chest lift is from a spine curl, not a neck curl. Long neck, right? You have space underneath your chin. For 3, 2, and 1. And bring all the way down. Feet to the ground, hands out to T. Nice gentle twist here. Blow it all out. Get those joints to open through your spine. For 2. And 1. Awesome. We're going to bring it all the way over to our side. So all the way down. Let's prop up onto our elbow as we get through some hip work. So legs are straight, shoot them out slightly forward. You want to check in that you're always pushing down here, keeping your obliques on, and then just lengthen out your neck. We're going to pull with our big toe up, our inner thigh, pulling our knee as close as we can to our shoulder. Reach it out super straight and try to reach your toes past your bottom foot and up and reach. So nice length here of our legs, and stretch and reach, pull up, stretch and reach, for 2, and 1. Out. Reverse, straight leg straight up. Pull, bend, reach as high as you can up your inner thigh. Reach past your bottom foot. Pull up, stretch, slide up. Inhale and exhale. 2. How's this bottom oblique? And 1. All the way up. And bring it all the way in. Whew, up and down we go. Nice and easy. So don't collapse on that bottom shoulder though, okay? That's the work. Bottom leg pushing to the floor, top leg pulling up. And breathe. I'm gonna really work and burn that side hip for 3 and 2. 1. Hold baby circle here on this top leg. One direction. Burn, burn, burn. Opposite direction. Burn, burn, burn. 2 and 1. Stretch. Ooh, press. Bottom arm can release. Oh yeah, baby. Find that length all the way through the side of your hip and also through your flank as well. For 2, 1. Can't miss our mermaid. Never let those guys sleep. All right, knees together, feet together. Do your best to get tall. Stack up your spine. Maybe you hover your hand. Maybe you reach up to the ceiling. Maybe you reach towards your toes. Inhale and exhale. Breathe and release. And be grateful with wherever you are moving today. Right? That's important. We have to always be grateful for our abilities, and then at that moment, can we actually learn how to move more and gain new abilities. 2. And then last, we're going to go towards our feet where we are most tight. Stay and breathe. Relax our shoulders and our neck and expand our ribs. 2 and 1. Whew. Swing that tail around and over to the other side. Oh my goodness, I feel my hips. Hopefully you do too. Let's go. Legs straight. Press through. Really lengthen out as we pull it up. Slide, reach, stretch, past. Pull up as high as you can. Stretch it out as straight as you can. Reach as far as it can. Inhale, exhale. So if your hip is clicking, make sure you're trying to squeeze with that butt a little bit more to support your SI joints on the back end. Inhale, exhale, almost there. Final one. And then we hit reverse. Up, 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 up. How high can we pull up on that inner thigh? Reach past that bottom foot and repeat. Come on, find that length. Keep pressing through that bottom arm. Really work. Stretching. Everything is a stretch. 2 and 1. Oh my goodness. Here we go. You can do a quick break if you need to and reset. Up and down. Up and down. Bottom leg is pushing into the ground the whole time. So both hips are on. Help engage and stabilize the spine. Who's burning with me? For 2 and 1. Here we go. Hold it up into our baby circles. Hold your body steady. Don't let your chest collapse. Very easy here. And fight and change directions. Burn, burn, burn. 3, 2, 1. Oh, bring it in. And then we stretch it out. Find length through your hip and through your flank. 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Mermaid baby. We got a new trick coming up after this, okay? So stick with me, guys. Here we go. Get tall. Test where you are at this side today. And be grateful with your breathing, with your length. Maybe getting a little bit longer as we move through. Yes, that side bending spine is key. And getting better relief through your back and your hips. Alrighty, so next time we side bend towards our feet, we're going to hang out there and continue to breathe, expand our ribs. And last. Awesome. All right. We're going to come down onto our stomach. We're going to do a couple new things. This is potentially uncomfortable for some of us. So we have to be somewhere, right? So it's okay with wherever you start today. Just know we have a different level for everyone. We're going to go down onto our ground completely. Whew. All right. So just take a look first to see where we're headed. We will do this movement with our forehead down to the ground eventually, but at least just take a look at it first. We're going to start with one leg straight, staying steady, and then the other leg we're going to pull out to the side. Okay, and then we're just going to take our time, letting it glide with some floor support. Kind of see how much we can move at the hip before we start to cramp and lift our butt up and our spine up. Right, you'll start to feel like some closing in on that flank if your spine is starting to compensate and cheat for you. Our goal, if you can predict, is to keep our waist open as we go out. Okay, so here we are. Forehead down, one leg, just pull and glide out to the side. We have some of that floor support, which is nice. We're going to try for 4 solid moves. And then into our last one, bring that knee out to the side. Okay, and then let your hips deepen and maybe get some inner thigh stretch here. And then bring your hands right underneath your shoulders. Okay, and then so from here, I want you to already embrace your stomach. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Press gently through your hands as you lift your head and your chest. And then see, can you continue to press before any back pressure? So depending on where you are today with your spine and your hips will dictate how high you can press. Do not worry if you cannot press too high. Everyone has to start somewhere, but you will be stretching both your hips, keeping your hip bones down for as much as you can. Maybe you feel a stretch in the front of that straight leg. Great hip flexor. You do your best to keep your hips down, which will increase that stretch also on this externally rotated leg, and a ton of inner thigh. 2, you do you, right? You don't do me, you do you. And then bring it all the way in, okay? So you're going to come right back down to the ground. You may already feel like well challenged with the floor support. Go back to that without compensating into your spine. If you want to try a little bit more of a challenge, we're going to try to do an active hover into that external rotation. So forehead down, inhale, exhale, turn it out. Try to keep it off the floor. Let it just touch on the ground at end range here, back to center. Lift, hover out, turn it out. Hover as much as you can before you place it back on the ground and repeat back to center. Do your best to fight with your core to hold your body as still as possible. We're going to try some 5 quality out and in. Take your time. And last. And down. All right, right. Was that significantly harder? Probably so, because active work is always harder, but that's letting you know what your brain and your body has actually available actively for you based on your muscles. Okay, and then we do the same thing on the other side. So we know where we're headed. Here we go. First, floor support. Out to the side. You can let your leg glide. Check in that we're not twisting and pivoting or bending into our spine. Oh yeah, hello, inner thighs on that side. So maybe 4 or 5 good ones. And then find your end range. And then hang out here. Deepen your hips into the floor, hands underneath your shoulders, embrace your stomach, pull your shoulders away from your ears, peel your spine up to what feels good, and down. So no pressure into your low back as always, right? Embrace your stomach, press up to what your body feels good with, okay? Not our ego, our body. Inner thigh stretch, hip flexor stretch. Inhale and exhale. Maybe final one. Stack those hands underneath your forehead. Here we go for our active work, or go back to that floor support, okay? You do you. 5, high quality. Here we are. I'm choosing the hover on this side. Maybe you'll do floor support today. Repeat this class another time this week or next to see how much stronger you get just by taking the class for a second time. I challenge all you guys, take a class twice. There's a big difference from first to second time. All right, final. All right, bring it in. We're going to try a double leg, okay? And it is a uncomfortable, challenging move for some. So we'll just see where our body will take us. Here we are, forehead down. You're essentially just doing that knee position out to the side on each leg at the same time. So reduce your range first on both. One leg first, out to the side, pretty comfortable. I'm not going to take it to max range because it's crazy different when I try to bring my second leg out. Woo. You can pop your butt up just a little bit, but then drive both your knees down an inch so we can really see where we are with both legs turned out, challenging that inner thigh. Try to drive your pelvis down if you can, comfortably without anything compressing or sharp in your back, just a ton of inner thigh stretch. Drive it here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, hips. Come up, wide stance, knees wide, feet wider than your knees. That's a internal rotation on both your hips. Straight spine, hinge back. And relax here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. We're going to come up onto our feet all the way up. A nice check-in to apply all that goodness we did into our hips with wide turnout here. Chest stays up. Inhale, exhale, we deepen down. Inhale up. Squeeze your side butt. Exhale, deepen down. Keep your shoulders right over your hips, okay? Knowing that you did more for your hips today to challenge it, to build additional range, to build additional muscle recruitment around those glutes. Not because it looks good, because it does, but also because it's just better support for your body. Because we just want to be better humans moving around on our feet, right? Final time. Can we go down? See what low is for us today. Shift a little bit side to side for 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Press it up. Get tall. Feet together into a V. Stack and reach. Inhale up. And just bring those hands wide. Proud chest. Those hands are down. Roll those shoulders and your gaze comes back forward, knowing that you made it through our FFP lower body revive, restoring all that goodness we have for our body. Thank you for joining me today. I greatly appreciate you for being with me in this new year, and let me know how I can better serve you next time. Thank you.